Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Teah, and I am a web developer and a game developer. And my current interest is in blockchain and Web3 and VR and AR, and that's what I'm currently working on for my personal project. Um, so I finally figure out why I been struggling to get a job pretty much, and it was because I am I'm attracting work that is senior level and work that I mean jobs that require like 10, 11 years and up to like 18, 20 years of experience, and I don't have that much years to put as value for what I can do. So pretty much I have to wait until I'm old to start getting this job because it's not like I can make up time, right? Time has to pass for like a year of experience to pass, or an actual year has to pass. So even if I can do the job, I have to wait the amount of years before I can actually start getting these jobs and stuff to start working on. Put simply, I've been contacted by recruiters from uh, like from from a Fang company, and my application was pretty much rejected because I wasn't old enough, pretty much. Um, it's not like I don't have the experience. I have actually about 8 years of programming experience, and I've been programming in JavaScript and in C Sharp for a long time now. Working with tools with like uh, frameworks and technologies that uses these programming languages, it's not anything difficult, right? Give me a documentation, give me the language that I know, and give me a target, and I'll go at it, and I'll get you what you want. And that's my mentality. But in the corporate world, what they see is that you have to have waited for 8 years, 9 years, and be using the same exact framework or the same exact technology for all that 8 years. And that's really not how I think uh, applications are supposed to be reviewed. I think recruiters, the companies, it's not actually the recruiters that are at fault here. It's the companies. I think these uh, like inside recruiters, like the actual companies, people who are reviewing the applications, I think they should try to look at the presentations that the developers have shown, the actual feats that a developer has actually accomplished, and use that to actually recruit the developer, not how old the person is. Because if you are telling me that I have that within 4 years, if I can actually develop a full stack application, and within 4 years I've been using JavaScript, working on different type of applications, not using the same framework, like one specific framework. Um, Within those years, if I've been using JavaScript, that is still part of the experience. Like that is still something to be considered, right? I don't have to be using the same exact technology for 5, 6, 7, 8 years because technology changes. right? Things like tailwinds, uh, things like NWJS, um, things like Redux, those frameworks, technologies, libraries, those all of those can come out of the blue from at any time, pretty much. And what I'm saying is like technology is always changing, and you don't expect somebody. I mean, these recruiters within a company shouldn't expect somebody to be static on the same technology, because developers are supposed to be adaptive, and they are supposed to pick up a new technology and learn it and learn how to use it. And that's why your documentation and your overall programming skills is supposed to be designed in a way that you can make something and other people can look at it and then they can implement on it. And the overall sense of like technology is to make things easier to understand, things to easier to implement on, and pretty much to make things easier, right? And in order to do that, like you have to be technology is also improving really fast, so people have to go around pretty much and look at different things, and they have to be fast at it, right? Now, if you are expecting a developer to sit down on a single technology for 8 years straight in order for them to be able to work at your company, that's a huge risk first off for the developer, because they don't know what else is going to pop up out of the blue and take off their opportunities and stuff like that, right? So that's why I haven't been getting jobs, because I haven't spent 9 of my years working on the same exact framework, even though I've been spending about I've spent eight years of my life using C sharp and JavaScript. And I don't personally, I don't think there's any problem that is JavaScript related, any problem that is C sharp related that I cannot solve. And I'm waiting to actually do the work to learn the technologies and everything. But I cannot get a job regardless, right? So that's how it is, right? So right now, what I'm gonna be doing is anything I can to just get by, and pretty much I'm also gonna be working on my on a company, on a startup company, independent company, and I'm making games, and I'm gonna be making my website, and the focus of that website is pretty much integrating the new technologies and the futuristic technology that been discussed almost by everybody now on the internet. And so that's what I'm doing these days now. So um all right, so let's get to it. I'm gonna show you guys all right, there it is. Okay, so what I've been doing so far was making this basic website, this basic landing page, and I I have some graphic skills for UX and stuff, but I'm not a graphic designer. So making this website is gonna be a little bit difficult. I mean, it's gonna take a little more time, because if I'm gonna include graphics in it, like pictures of things and all that stuff, it's gonna take me a little bit of time to actually make those. Right? So there are a lot of stuff that go into making website, and that's why being a full stack developer is not that easy. Anyways, um, we will go here, and this website is gonna be responsive. This application is gonna be responsive, but right now it is not, and that's not my goal right now. Um, anyways, if you want to look at it from various devices, screen size, and stuff. You can look at it like that, but right now the application is not. I mean, it is like everything right now is in a grade. I'm using grade, material UI grade and CSS grade and stuff. Um, Flexbox, yeah, that's the word. And but that's not my focus right. So you just click on it. It's gonna take you to Google Signing, and you can click on the signing method you want. We'll click this, and then we'll right. My backend server is actually running right now, and it's running. And this is the message you receive, and that's right there. Anyways, you need a redirect route, and so on. Yeah, guys, that's what I've been working on, and you can watch a blockchain video if you guys want to hang in there and
Ever wonder if there's an easier way to complete transactions without having to deal with online wallets, banks, and third-party applications? Well, it's possible thanks to blockchain. Here's everything you need to know about blockchain. Imagine 4 friends, Jack, Ted, Sam, and Phil meet up for dinner. After they're done, Jack pays the bill, and all of them decide to split the expense amongst each other. Now, on the next day, when Phil sends his share to Jack via online money transfer, the transaction goes through without a hitch. Then, Ted and Sam send their respective shares to Jack, but their transactions don't go through. The failed transaction cites some issues at the bank. That's when Jack comes to know about the many ways a bank transaction could fail. It could be due to technical issues at the bank, one of their accounts were hacked, daily transfer limits being exceeded, and sometimes additional charges, like transfer charges, associated with transferring money. To solve these problems, the concept of cryptocurrency came into existence. Cryptocurrencies are a form of digital or virtual currency that run on.
so pretty much with cryptocurrency, it's a direct peer-to-peer interaction that isn't limited by uh, a middleman or a middle entity distributing your data.
On a technology known as blockchain. Thanks to blockchain, cryptocurrencies are immune to counterfeiting, don't require a central authority, and are protected by strong and complex encryption algorithms. And in a market of more than thousands of cryptocurrencies like Litecoin, Ethereum, Zcash, and so on, one reigns supreme: Bitcoin. Now, let's go back to our
Corruption, correction. I think Bitcoin is actually not the supreme right now. I think Ethereum or something like that is in the
previous example and
top
have
tier.
Phil, Ted, and Sam send Jack 2 bitcoins each as their contribution to the previous night's dinner. Let's assume Phil, Ted, and Sam have 3 bitcoins in reserve, while Jack has 5. First, Phil sends 2 bitcoins to Jack. A record is created in the form of a block. The transaction details between them is permanently inscribed in this block. This record also holds the number of bitcoins each of the friends own. So, after Phil's transaction, Jack has 7 bitcoins, while Phil has 1. Following this, Sam and Ted send 2 bitcoins to Jack. A new block is created for each of these transactions. These blocks.
So blocks are basically history, transaction history. But instead of it being owned by a corporation, you actually own your own, and everybody else own their own version of that history. And
Hold the transaction details as well as how many bitcoins Sam, Ted, and
in
Jack
that way,
have in
everything is
reserve.
secure
These blocks are linked to
in a
each other,
sense that
as
in
each
order
of
to like
them takes reference from the
break it,
previous
you have to
one
break
for the
every one
number
of
of
it.
bitcoins each friend owns. This chain of records, or blocks, is called a ledger, and this ledger is shared among all the friends, which acts as a public distributed ledger. This forms the basis of blockchain. So, what happens when Phil has only one Bitcoin left and he tries to send two more Bitcoins to Jack? The transaction will not go through. This is because all his friends have copies of the ledger, and it's clear that Phil has only one Bitcoin left. His friends will flag this transaction as invalid. A hacker will not be able to alter the data in the blockchain because each user has a copy of the ledger. The data within the blocks are encrypted by complex algorithms. All of this is made possible with the help of blockchain technology. Blockchain can be described as a collection of records linked.
Exactly. So it started small, and then as the more you interact with stuff, the more data you acquire, which means you need a bigger database to be able to save all of those, and like that's very crucial. And Bitcoin transaction, we already know what Bitcoin is. Let's see how
Private key.
Bitcoin
The
is.
public key is an address that everyone in the network knows of, like an email address of a user.
This is basically like the identification for the currency and assets that you own. And the problem with Bitcoin that it had mining issue and was using too much energy. Basically, computers that were running it needed more energy to keep processing stuff, and it was basically like playing a game. How most Asian games are, you have to like almost leave your computer on for a long time to be able to get value out of your gaming experience. It was pretty much like that. Um, all right, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys. Hold up. Let's check out Metaverse. Apart from Bitcoin, there's another thing, the Metaverse, and let's check this out.
In just a few months, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg has seen his personal fortune plummet massively after his company faced billions of dollars of losses and a series of massive layoffs that left thousands of families in the streets. This is how what was once the world's sixth largest company, valued at more than $1 trillion, has lost most of its money. The drop in the company.
I'm not sure if Facebook have lost all its money. Meta has lost all its money. I feel like they are investing in something that doesn't exist yet, and so it seems like they are just throwing money away. But comes like 10, 11, 12, or something years from now, they will probably get their return on investment. Um, and it's very risky too, right? It's pretty much like everybody's using the same framework and you start to use something else. Everybody's using the same technology and you start investing yourself into something else. It's pretty much like that. You're taking a risk. I mean, yeah, if you remain on the same technology, you are kind of secure and stuff. If you move on to something else, it's kind of risky. But in the end, you know, it could turn into a reward situation.
Company stock has taken Meta out of the world's top 25 companies. But investors believe it's only a matter of time until Meta's stock continues to fall. And
Personally, like the way I explained it earlier, I said that being static is risky because you don't know which technology is going to pick up. And in this way, right now, I'm actually explaining it as picking up a new technology is risky because you are still in your comfort zone, right? So either side is the same. It's the same risk, in a sense, but um, it just is what it is. I feel like Metaverse just need couple more time, more years, and people will catch on to it.
they are right. On February the 3rd, 2022, Meta's stock plunged 26.4%. But if we go by the origins of this conflict, Meta shares have gone from worth $353